Hey, man, it's Dukes and Bell. Welcome back after a long weekend. Damn, Mike. Damn, brother. I mean, what's all the red? What's going on here, man?
You know, my credo is fat 10 equals muscle, and we're living that down the Cabo Wabo way. Yeah, man. I got like about 6 ounces of Vaseline and aloe, and yeah, man, as El Gringo Gordo.
Yeah.
With a tan. But yeah, man, good times. You know, you've been down there. It's a trip, man. It's a lot of fun. Met a ton of listeners too. Ran into a bunch of folks from Atlanta, and it was just everybody's. They all listen to 92.9, and it was like, say hi to Sticks, say hi to Andy and Randy. We love you guys. It was great. Good times.
Man, it's amazing that, and look, we got a lot to talk about coming off a huge weekend. It's amazing, to your point, how many people that we run into just on a daily basis. I don't talk about it a whole lot because, you know, it makes you sound like a D-bag when you're like, I got recognized every day and every hour. Right. But really, it's true. I mean, when we say that, it is, you go to the damn grocery store. Hey, man, you go to the auto shop. Hey, like, it's nonstop. And I'm just like, where are all the meters with you people? we need you guys.
We're number one, but we really need you guys. Now, we can't talk specifics about the ratings, but please, if someone asks, yes, do you love 92.9 and Dukes and Bell? And the funny thing is, so I'm going down to the pool at Cabo, and we're at Nobu, really, it's Mac. I'll tell you about a guy talk today on the station. But I always love that. Like, where's Carl? And somehow Day, Carl and I really are Bernie and Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. Like we have twin beds or something everywhere we go. But anyway, it was cool. It was cool.
No, man, and I'm mentioning this because Day, I know you, like, we say this on the show, and until you work on the show, I don't think people realize it. Bo Morgan used to get this, and now he's working in mornings. But you know, he used to be like, man, people recognize the voices or the shows. And so anyways, I say all that to say we appreciate you, because going to Mexico is one thing. You know, we went overseas. I ran into people on the plane.
Right.
Randos, you know, it's like, so we thank you guys for hanging out with us each and every day. All right, man. Look. Yeah. And Daddy, I know you'll probably expound on that a little bit more today with what's on your mind. Yeah. Braves. I want to start here, Mike, just because, you know, you leave. They're still at spring training. Spring training game's about to kick off here. Right. But now it seems like we're worried about another pitcher. Schwellenbach is going to miss at least 2 months, is what they've told us. And now we've got, you know, Hurston Waldrop injured. And look, it seems like it may not be serious, but this is something that could loom through the rest of the season. And it gets us back to this damn conversation. They said no signs of ligament damage. But we found this out, you know, heading into the weekend, over the weekend, and you're not like, here's another one. Here we go again.
And, you know, I said on Twitter, and I got some Braves fans mad because, you know, as we said, with fans, you got folks who are like us who kind of look sideways sometimes at the situation. Like, why aren't we trying to win a World Series every year? I mean, when you've got a team that's really good, let's spend a little bit more. Yes, I know they're top 10 in payroll, but they're not top 5. And right now the Braves are like way behind the Phillies. I always use that as my reference point. So I'm always like, come on, guys, what are we trying to do here if we're not trying to win a World Series? Hope is not a strategy. Hoping someone will get better, hoping somebody can learn how to pitch in the big leagues, that's not a strategy. You've got to go get starting pitching. So I said on Twitter, I go, you know, sometimes Braves fans will realize eventually that the franchise takes them for suckers because you guys buy in and you don't demand excellence. So, look, I hope these guys can overachieve like they did in 21, but the further we get away from that World Series, you realize, damn, that was an outlier. And this franchise, despite having all this payroll, won't commit to the elite pitching it needs and always gets in the situation we find ourselves in, Carl. Here we are in spring training.
Yeah, and look, something we'll dive into today. We're live at 2 o'clock on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Is, you know, this idea that and we'll let you hear it from people around baseball who are saying, hey, Braves need to lock up Ronald Acuna. It's time. And I'm sitting here going, we're begging for starting pitching. Right. You really think they're going to lock up Ronald Acuna for 10 years and pay him $450 million? Like, it's almost insane to think both, like, okay, they're willing to do one, but not the other. Either way, we'll dive into that because there is lots of Braves news going on. And we got to talk about Austin Riley, too. But what do you make of this day with the injury news to another starting pitcher potentially?
The big thing is, you know, it just feels like we talked about it last week. We can't have nice things in Atlanta. You know, if it's I mean, it's one thing or the other with one of our franchises, and then this was just another blow in the sense of like, geez, like how bad is this going to have us getting started off this season? I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, Chris Sale, he's no spring chicken. Spencer Strider last year still struggled to return to Spencer Strider that we really know. Can he get back to that this year? Grant Holmes elected not to have his surgery on his ACL. So is he going to be able to, give us a full season without any type of setback? So it just, and then you look in the notable names that were out there when it comes to free agency. Well, there aren't too many left, if we're honest. So, I remember Alex Anthopoulos telling you guys back when I first started working with you guys how he doesn't always like to talk about all the prospects that they have, right? He likes to kind of keep some stuff close to the vest. So then I started thinking, well, maybe there's a hope that he's got some gem that he hasn't really been bragging about that's in the system that they're really high on. And maybe that's something because, again, he said they got the money to go get somebody if they need. Well, guys, now there's two pitchers that might not be starting the season with us. So are you going to go get somebody, or do you got somebody in wait that you really feel like is going to be able to step up and help this rotation? Because this is not a good start. So it just sucks to always be beginning our seasons with this kind of turmoil.
Hey, Carl, Mark Bowman just tweeted out that basically if Waldrop needs surgery, you said it'd be 3 months potentially of a recovery. He may just miss 3 weeks. Need 3 weeks of rest, according to the doctor. Correct. So we're going to find out here soon. But it seems like it's Groundhog Day with Braves pitching year after year.
Yeah, and he pitched like a simulated deal the other day, and then came back the next day, and it was like, yeah, my elbow's a little sore, and that's how this got started. It's Dukes and Bell, guys. Big O is off today, and we're going to be on at 2:00. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about what everybody is all excited about in Atlanta, and that is Ant-Man covering his mouth and saying to Jalen Johnson, yeah, man, you're in my hometown. I can't wait to come home. And everybody's freaking out over this one sentence. He also said, Jonathan Kuminga is a dog, and basically complimenting that, you got a guy that you can play with. All right. Mike, is he really wanting to come here? Was he just making a comment in jest? Was he just chopping it up with Jalen on the court and like, hey, man, you're in my hometown. I love it. Can't wait to come back home and have some of Mom's fried chicken. Like, was that what he was saying? Because everybody's freaking out about this.
Because it's like, we would go bananas for him here. And, yes, we'd have to get immediately guys go on the ESPN trade generator. How can we do this?
What would it take?
Well, I mean, again, the good news, bad news is to get Anthony Edwards, you'd have to give up Jalen Johnson. So the dream of the two playing together in a trade, that's just not going to happen. And then if you start going, yeah, but if we give Reese Sachet, who did absolutely nothing in the Future Stars game and a game that was pretty close. You needed a couple of points. He missed all the shots he took. I don't know what we would have to give. I mean, you wait till he's a free agent. You'd wait forever for that, So right now he's under contract with the Minnesota until 29-30, boys and girls. So you'd have to trade something. Yes, I'd love it. It would be bananas. We'd be so dynamic, but we'd have to trade the guy that Jalen Johnson he wants to play with.
Yeah, and look, I don't think Ant is forcing his way out of Minnesota anytime soon.
Yeah, it's maybe he's be dapping his boy up, Carl, having fun, but it is fun to talk about.
No, it really is. And look, we talk about guys wanting to not come to Atlanta for various reasons. I've never bought into that. I've just always said, is the franchise viewed as a winner? It hasn't been.
Right.
Guys want to go places where the franchises are viewed as winners, and they can continue that process. That's why the Lakers get all these damn free agents and guys that want to go there, right? For a time, it was Miami because Pat Riley and his ability to create and bring players in. Like, you just look around the league, and if there's certain places, Boston has been a place where guys want to go. I mean, I just feel like Atlanta hasn't had that privilege when it comes to basketball, and maybe that's slowly but surely changing. Either way, Dede, what do you make, man? Because Ant got everybody excited, and now, at some point, somebody's going to ask him, what did you mean by those comments? And he just may be like, yeah, man, we were just talking,
Yeah. Well, first let me shout out Andrew Jackson and Ricky Smith. They're watching us on Facebook, and they both
Fellas.
agree that, or they're in unison that they don't think we'd have to give up Jalen Johnson. Guys, all I'm going to say is this. First of all, I did not take it and run with it, and I really thought, okay, he's got two homes. He's got Minnesota. They've been in LA for what, 5 days?
Yeah.
And then he's got Atlanta. I honestly think it was more, and call me the, you just want to shoot everything down and blow our dreams. I honestly think he was talking about returning to one of those homes. I don't think it was a trade. And then one of the gentlemen said, why would he cover up his mouth? That part,
they all do that. Everybody does that. Everybody does that.
That makes it a little kind of suspicious, I guess, a little bit. But we would have to give up everything. Anse Salah literally just told Dukes and Bell the other week, we are in a great position that we've never been in before in terms of the amount of assets that we have. They'd give up the both first-round picks. You'd be crazy to think they're not giving up both those picks and Jalen Johnson to get Ant-Man on this roster.
Ant-Man is a superstar. He's a superstar. Yeah, he is a bona fide superstar. Jalen is a rising star, an all-star. Right. And you're right. I mean, you could finagle all those picks, and keep Jalen. That would be fantastic. But again, there's no way. I mean, maybe a Congo, but I don't. To go to their fan base in Minnesota, Carl, you'd have to do what they didn't do in Dallas, right? When they got rid of Luka, which is, hey, we got to bang up Anthony Davis. No, you need to you got to come with a store to rebuild your team, which they're not going to do.
No, and look, you go from being a contender in Minnesota, regardless of what you think their odds are in the West, to being in complete rebuild mode by taking on our picks and some potential assets that you can use right now, because none of those guys can do what Ant-Man can do. Love Nah, right? Nikhil's great. He played with Anthony. He's not Anthony Day, Ant-Man. So even if he went back, is what I'm saying, in a trade, and you added a couple of other pieces, like they're not better because of that. Either way, it's something everybody's talking about, and we will too. All right, man, we got to talk about the franchise tag. Today, it's open tag day. It's from today until like March 3rd, guys, where teams make the decision in the NFL to whether or not they're going to franchise tag a player that they want to potentially keep. And the question for us is Kyle Pitts. Now, I told you guys maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, my thought is you franchise tag him. And the reason is it gives this coaching staff a chance to evaluate him for 1 year, Tommy Rees and Kevin Stefanski. And if it doesn't go your way, you only invested 1 year, and you didn't pay him all this guaranteed money, and he's not on the books for 3 or 4 years, and we got to wait 2.5, 3 years before we can get him off the books before it's going to cost us an arm and a leg.
All right.
I think that might be the best option. So that's where I am right now, and I don't know how soon the Falcons execute this. Again, they got time. They don't have to do it today, but that window opens up today. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm reading right now, I should say, from Yahoo Sports, tight end tag, and here's the number, $16 million. Would you be willing to give $16 million to Pitts for another year? Now, again, guys don't like being tagged because they want that big boat load of money that comes in with the big contract that he would be hoping to get. You tag him, he's going to sing for his supper, Carl. Then you will see hopefully a second contract year. And in Stefanski's, like on paper, he should be a rock star in Stefanski's offense. I mean, it's a no-brainer. But what do you look at? Do you look at year 1 and year 5 and forget the middle and the injuries and the lack of focus and the lack of catches? Or you say, hey, he got really rocking for his contract year and I got to move. I would tag him. I've been thinking about this guy. I knew we'd be talking about this today because I was reading the numbers on the plane coming back. I'd tag him. I would tag him for a year and see what he does in this offense. How's that sound?
It's cheaper to tag him 2 years in a row than to pay him 4 to 5 years at $60 to $75 million.
Right.
Financially, it makes sense for the Falcons to do this. But they may be like completely sold that the kid is 25 years old. And if we sign him for 5 years, we get him until 30. We get him at his peak and certainly his prime. And we don't have to worry about that position for the next few years.
Unless he quietly quits for half of that time.
That's the problem. So, Day, you franchise him? You franchise tag him or no?
Yeah, I like the idea because of the fact too that you make him really, then maybe you're looking at, and I think you just said this, you're looking at 2 back-to-back years of him, performing well, because obviously he's going to want to get that big contract, whether it be with Atlanta or someone else. So tag him and then make him kind of once again come back out here and prove that, look, I deserve big contract money. I'm 100% healthy. I'm back to being what I was when I came in this league as a rookie. And he's supposed to, what everyone is telling us, to your point, he should thrive in this Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees offense from what we're hearing from everybody else. So this is a good opportunity for him to go out there and prove that he deserves the big payday.
We'll dive into that because it is a big situation. As far as a decision, look, the Falcons have various decisions to make here along the way. This is going to be one of them. And if you decide to give him this big contract and long-term money, it could come back to bite you in the ass. It just could, right? That's the fear. That's why I say use the system. This is the system that allows teams to put themselves in a good position. And look, no player likes it, but as a fan, I'm still in evaluation mode with Pitts. That's
100%.
where I'm at.
100%.
So, all right, man, we'll get into it today. We got a lot to talk about. We'll find out why Mike is so red in the face. And also,
wait, you see this big belly, man. No more soft white underbelly.
And also, we will definitely get into the NBA All-Star game, guys. It was a hit. It was ratings-wise and certainly viewer-wise. It was a hit, whether you dug it or not.
Right.
I think the league might be on to something here.
I think
so we'll
Wemby,
get into it.
it's almost like the narrative card. We'll talk about it today. It's like Wemby really put some effort in, and everyone said, "Wow, we really can't dog it in this one." And everybody kind of got with the program. And guess what? You had a great game.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, man. We'll talk to you guys at 2:00 today on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Thanks for being here.